April 3rd, 3:30 Eastern, the ESPN broadcast graphic flashes. Pick 23, Toronto Tempo, Kristy Wallace, Indiana Fever. The clip cuts away in 12 seconds. Sandy Brondello has been waiting 27 years for that moment. In 6 days, she debuts as Toronto's first head coach, and the Indiana Fever made the worst trade of her career. Here's what nobody's talking about. Sandy Brondello isn't some first-time coach gambling on an expansion roster. She's the only person walking into a 2026 head coaching job with 2 WNBA championship rings on her resume. And on April 3rd, she didn't just raid Indiana's bench. She told the entire league exactly what's coming. Caitlin Clark put the Indiana Fever on the map. Everyone knows that. But good feelings don't win championships. Rosters do. And while Indiana's front office spent the last 90 days watching their depth get picked apart, Sandy Brondello was building. 2 years ago, she won a WNBA title with the New York Liberty, 32 wins, a franchise that hadn't held the trophy since the league existed. Before that, in 2014, the Phoenix Mercury, Coach of the Year and a championship in the same season. 2 rings, 2 cities, 12 years apart. In 4 years running New York, she went 107-53. That's a 67% win rate in a league where most coaches don't survive their second contract. Sandy Brondello signed with Toronto in November of 2025. Multi-year deal, north of $1 million a year, paid by Larry Tannenbaum's ownership group, which counts Serena Williams as a co-owner. And here's the part Indiana fans need to sit with. She turned down more money from Dallas and Seattle to take this job. She didn't pick the bigger paycheck. She picked the build. And 27 years ago, December 15, 1999, she walked into the WNBA's first expansion draft as a player. Today, she runs her own. April 3rd at the Empire State Building, Sandy Brondello walked up to that ESPN stage and made 11 picks across 2 rounds. She didn't pick like an expansion coach. She picked like a championship coach. Round 1, pick 4, Julie Allemand, starting point guard for the Los Angeles Sparks, the Belgian floor general who ran the offense at Eurobasket last summer. Round 1, pick 6, Nyara Sabally, 6'5" center, New York Liberty starter, the woman who won a ring next to Sabrina Ionescu in 2024, under Sandy Brondello. Round 1, pick 8, Marina Mabrey, Connecticut Sun guard, unrestricted free agent, one of the most dangerous shooters in the league. Round 1, pick 9, Aaliyah Nye, Las Vegas Aces guard, won a championship in Las Vegas in 2025, the year the Indiana Fever watched from home. That's Brondello's starting 5. 4 players, 6 combined years of championship experience. 2 of them have already won rings playing for her, and she wasn't done. Round 2, pick 23, Kristy Wallace, Indiana Fever guard, Australian, Brondello's countrywoman. That's not a coincidence. Sandy Brondello is from Mackay, Queensland, Olympic silver medalist in 2008, the first Australian to make a WNBA All-Star team. Wallace played for the same Australian national team Brondello once captained. On April 3rd, Brondello didn't just pull a guard off Indiana's thin bench. She pulled a player who already trusts her, who already knows her system. A player who walks into Toronto's training camp knowing exactly what the head coach wants, because the head coach is family. And here's where it gets uncomfortable for the Fever. Wallace isn't the only player Indiana lost that afternoon. Pick 11 of round 1, Bibby, Indiana Fever guard, snapped up, not by Toronto, but by the Portland Fire, Tempo's expansion draft partner. The other team built specifically to feed off the rosters around it. 2 players, 1 day, both gone. And Indiana's response to losing them? Nothing. The Fever didn't add a championship-tested veteran. They didn't sign a proven free agent. They didn't trade for a player with a ring. The roster Indiana brought into 2026 has 0 players who have ever won a WNBA title. 0. Sandy Brondello's expansion bench has 3 of them. The math on that is straightforward. Brondello built a team with championship pedigree from a standing start in 5 months, with 11 picks. The Indiana Fever, who have a generational superstar already on the roster and 3 years of national television exposure to recruit on, added 0. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Sandy Brondello has done this before. When she took over the New York Liberty in 2022, that team hadn't won a championship in the franchise's entire history. They were a middle-of-the-pack roster with a young star named Sabrina Ionescu, and not much else. Her first move? Bring in Sabrina's running mate Courtney Vandersloot, then Jonquel Jones, then Breanna Stewart. 3 All-Stars in 18 months. By 2024, the Liberty were holding the trophy. That's not a coincidence. That's a pattern. Brondello isn't an expansion coach gambling on potential. She's a championship architect with a track record of finishing the job in 24 months or less. And the woman who just took 2 of Indiana's 11 roster spots on draft day, she has 24 months. Toronto's ownership group is paying her 7 figures because they expect her to deliver. But here's the tension. For Toronto to win, somebody else has to lose. And the team Brondello knows best, the team she just rated publicly, is the same team she has personal history with. Longtime Fever fans will remember December 15, 1999. That afternoon, the Indiana Fever were a brand new expansion franchise. Their first general manager, a woman named Kelly Krauskopf, was making her first ever player transaction. She picked an Australian guard out of the expansion pool, 6 foot, sharpshooter, rangy defender. Her name was Sandy Brondello. Hours later, Krauskopf flipped her to the Miami Soul in exchange for a young Stephanie White. Yes, that Stephanie White. The same Stephanie White sitting in the Indiana Fever head coaching chair right now in 2026, trying to win a championship with Caitlin Clark. Krauskopf herself confirmed the trade on the record at White's introductory press conference in November of 2024. Her exact words, "The player that I traded for her was Sandy Brondello." So here's the situation Indiana finds itself in. The current Fever head coach was acquired by trading away a future 2-time WNBA champion and Coach of the Year. That champion is now the head coach of Toronto, and on April 3rd she came back to that same expansion mechanism, and the first move she made was pulling another Australian guard out of Indiana's locker room. 27 years, the receipts came due. Now here's the part that should worry every Fever fan watching this. Toronto opens the season May 8th against the Washington Mystics. Indiana opens May 9th against the Dallas Wings. 6 days from now, both teams are live. Stephanie White, the woman traded for Sandy Brondello in 1999, is going to coach against Sandy Brondello in 2026, at least twice this season. And every one of those games is a 27-year referendum on the front office decisions that built one of these rosters and dismantled the other. This isn't just a coaching matchup. It's the receipts of a trade that nobody outside the Fever's front office remembered until last fall. Caitlin Clark becomes supermax eligible in 2027. The maximum salary tier under the WNBA's collective bargaining agreement, currently set at $1.4 million in a league with a $7 million cap. That's the deadline silently driving every roster decision Indiana should be making right now and isn't. Clark's championship window is real. It's narrow. The Indiana Fever have 1 championship in their entire 25-year history. Tamika Catchings, 2012. 1 ring in a quarter century. Caitlin Clark is supposed to be the next one. Aliyah Boston is locked up through 2028. Kelsey Mitchell signed her $1.4 million supermax in April. The pieces around Clark are in place, but the depth isn't. Indiana's bench just got 2 pieces lighter, and the people who took those pieces are already building toward a contender. Sandy Brondello has 24 months to deliver Toronto a finals run. Caitlin Clark has 24 months before her supermax decision. Those clocks are running on the same wall, and one team has a coach who's won 2 championships and a Coach of the Year. The other has the coach Indiana traded a future 2-time champion to acquire. Sandy Brondello took less money to take this job. She picked Toronto over Dallas, over Seattle. She picked the team built specifically to feed on the rest of the league, and she pointed it directly at Indiana on day 1. She knows where the bodies are buried in Indiana's front office because she was one of them. She knows the Fever can't match a championship coach in this draft class because she's the only championship coach in this draft class. She knows Stephanie White is the person sitting in the chair Sandy Brondello might have had if Kelly Krauskopf had decided differently in December of 1999. And in 6 days, she gets to start writing the next chapter of that story herself. The Indiana Fever better be paying attention because Sandy Brondello isn't coming. She's already here. May 8th, Tempo's first regular season game. Sandy Brondello on the bench, Kristy Wallace in a Tempo jersey. May 9th, Indiana Fever opener, Stephanie White on the bench. The woman acquired in the 1999 trade that set all of this in motion. The receipts are due. The next 24 months decide whether Indiana can pay them, or whether Caitlin Clark's championship window closes inside the building Sandy Brondello just spent 5 months erecting. And the front office that helped her build it, they're still acting like nothing happened.